Good evening and welcome to the October 4th meeting of the Wilton Town Board. And we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Last month we lost a very dear friend of the board and the town, Larry Gordon. I'd like if we could stand for a moment of silence for him.
Yeah, Larry did a lot of great things for the town, and he'll be remembered forever. So
He'll be missed.
thank you. And we will at some point be doing a more formal, permanent memorial for Larry at some point. Okay. So roll call.
Supervisor Johnson.
Here.
Councilman Stryker.
Here.
Councilman Bogartis.
Here.
Deputy Supervisor Lamb.
Here.
Councilman McEachran.
Here. Okay, before we had the thing about Larry, but on a more happier note, at least for some people, I will announce the retirement of Jeff Reel, our town controller. So it was a happy day for him, but not so happy for us up here. So Jeff, to his credit, has kept our finances straight. He's monitoring all our budgets and has certainly provided to the town board, who's ultimately responsible for finances, a comfort level that things are accurate. So Jeff, we want to recognize you tonight. This is your last meeting, and I do have a plaque to present to you. So if you would step forward, please.
But you're still buying your own drinks tonight.
But this is from the town board. This is presented to Jeffrey Reel. I never called you Jeffrey. By the Wilton Town Board in recognition and appreciation of your 16 years as controller. Your dedication and administration in this position has guided the town of Wilton to where we are today. Our best wishes for a healthy and happy retirement, dated October 4th, 2018, and all our town board members.
That's because you couldn't beat my team in baseball. We had to give you a plaque.
I just wanted to thank all the staff. Today they threw me a really nice luncheon, and I had eggplant made by our town clerk, and it was delicious. On top of that, the cake. But working with the staff, we got some really professional people here, and I had a bookkeeper for 16 years, Pat Brennan, and without her, I would have been lost. But then she retired, and Lisa Muller, she picked right up, and we haven't skipped a beat in that office. Maria Moran, she'll be taking over on October 22nd, and I'm sure the town's still going to be in great hands. So, it's been a great time working with the staff. As far as the town board goes, you guys have been great to me over the years. I worked with some really great guys like Ray O'Connor and the late Larry Gordon. Larry was, on the board for 8 years. I just want to, John Lant, I never knew John, and when we did the baseball program in 2005, I get a call that went out to the garage. So I went out to the garage, and not really knowing John, he just says, "How much?" I said, "How much what?" "I want to sponsor a team." I said, "Oh, okay." He said, and I told him how much it was. He just cut me a check. He goes, "If it's for the kids," he goes, "I'm in." And I never forgot about that, John. But John does a great job with highway liaison. Steve with the park, and that park has been booming. We came here, that park was nothing but grass fields and soccer fields, and look what it is today.
dirt bike track.
And Dwayne, Dwayne's our new guy here on the board, and he's really picked it up, and he does a lot of research before he comes into his meetings, and I think there's a lot of good things in store for him. As far as the supervisor goes, oh boy, where do I start? Got to keep it rated G here. But,
Time's up.
I never knew.
Wait a minute, let him go.
Coming into this job, like Maria's going to find out, I never knew Art Johnson. I didn't know who he was. I had no idea. And, not only has he been my boss for 16 years, but he's also been a really good friend. And it's good to call him my friend. Things that he's done for this town, people I don't think really see. We started this in 2002, and Art and I came on together. Our surplus was $900,000. At the end of this year, our surplus is going to be close to $7 million. And we've done that all without having a town tax, okay? And it's just being smart with your spending, and that's all under great leadership. So, Art, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Jeffrey. Hey, Jeff, and remember Lance won his first 3 trophies, too.
And that was your coach.
We're gonna miss you, Jeff.
Yes, we are.
Okay, public comment period is our first order of business, and we have a couple of people that have signed up. First is Eric Rosenberg. Just a reminder, all our public comment period is 3 minutes.
Good evening, Eric Rosenberg, 16 Crawl Lane. Just as an initial comment, I was at the Taste of Wilton event. I thought it was a great event. And maybe the pepper pizza was a little burning in the mouth, but and I would encourage the town to have more events like that and to help the community, because I think that's exactly what those kinds of events do. So congratulations on that. The next thing is I moved to Wilton because, and like a lot of people, Wilton's a beautiful town. It has that country feel. But it's very easy, if we're not careful, that it can go the other way. And I ended my comments last month with a question. And I asked the question, why do we continue to employ a zoning officer who doesn't seem either willing or capable of doing his job? And every month, without really looking, I mean, things just pop up. For instance, there's a house at 175 Traver Road that's abandoned, the garage is boarded up, and there's a car sitting there without plates. Now, I think cars sitting on a property without plates is illegal just about everywhere. Why is that car still there? Why isn't that being dealt with? There's a property on 3 Parkhurst Road. I just drove by it today. I believe it's a residential property. There's no question that there's a lot of auto repair going on there. It's the dumpiest, messiest auto repair shop in town, and it's not even licensed as an auto repair shop. If I lived on Parkhurst Road, it would really upset me to drive by that property every day. There's 2 properties on Northern Pines that look like they're right out of an episode of Hoarders. Why are these things being allowed to take place? I know you all know that I've got some issues with the way the Zoning Board of Appeals makes some of its decisions. Well, we had a couple of incidences. For instance, Art and I had to come to understand this one appeal that had a lot of questions. There were no documents in the file. Why are files not being documented? That's just pure good business. Whether or not you think it's ethical or required by code, it's just good business. We spend a lot of time having to unravel that, and that shouldn't happen. We had a recent issue in this case, it was another private stables. That special permit was issued 12 years ago. There's not a single document in that file to show that there's been any due diligence whatsoever. Now, we know that neighbors don't want to rat on one another, but doesn't the town owe it to the neighbors to make sure these people, these properties that get special permits, are in compliance with the requirements? 12 years, not a single inspection report, not a single anything. And this happens a lot, okay? And that wordplay, he said, guys, renewal and extension means the same thing under our documents. And again, it doesn't seem to know what the documents say. If anybody should know these things, it's our zoning officer, and it's clear month after month that he just doesn't know.
Thank you, Eric. Joanne Klepetar.
Hello. I'm not sure if the town board has addressed this yet or not, and if they have, I apologize. I'm wondering if we can get an update on what was going to be a new courthouse, a new senior center, and a new addition to the town hall for a community room. I don't ever remember hearing a report. I've asked different people and they've told me what's going on, but I don't know if the public knows. Thank you.
Joanne, it's still in the works right now. Under consideration is renovation of the current building, and the town board is weighing in on that. And so there is no official decision has been made yet as to what we're going to do, but there's going to be a meeting with the judges and the court staff to review the current plans, and at that point, then we'll move forward.
Seniors are happy with their building. And the seniors are happy with their building.
The seniors?
Yeah, the senior citizens are very happy with their building at this time, and they said they don't desire a new building.
I'm sorry, I didn't know I had to sign up to speak.
Okay, go ahead. Come on up.
Hi, I'm Debbie Hewitt. I live at 63 Castleberry Drive. I've been a resident of Wilton for the last 17 years. Just want to compliment you on what a fabulous job. We live in a great town, and we have, so many wonderful amenities. There is one thing that I think the town is missing, and I'm wondering if there's an opportunity at some point for a dog park to be considered. Don't know if it's been brought up in the past, if the town has property that might be conducive to for something like that, but wanted to raise the question. I was even going to offer to do some fundraising, but given we have a $7 million surplus, I don't think that is
That's why I never bring it up.
necessary.
Darn good thing you're leaving.
Thank you.
Actually, Councilman Stryker's been working on something
That's fabulous.
in the talks.
Yeah, we had it on our radar screen, so
Okay, any timeline?
not yet, but
Right after the
thank you for
court
being
building.
Okay, that's the people that signed up for public comment. The first item of business is to approve the minutes pending from our September meeting.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from September's meeting.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Is there any requests for changes or amendments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, it's that time of year again where seems to go so quickly, putting together a budget for next year. So tonight I will be introducing the 2019 tentative budget. And what I'm going over tonight, the town boards have a copy of it, but it is, it's on the website, and if anybody cares to look into it further, they're certainly welcome. So first of all, the budget, the proposed budget is $8.7 million, which is divided between the general fund of $5.1 million and the highway fund of $3.6 million. Some key points in this budget that I am proposing. First of all, and the best part of it, it'll be 37 years that the budget will not contain any town tax in either the general fund or the highway fund. It's a balanced budget. Revenues meet expenses, and we are not using any fund balance to balance the budget. It is a 5.4% increase over the 2018 budget, but there are some, I consider substantial purchases, particularly in the highway department. But there's $850,000 approximately in road improvements. New highway equipment is $302,000. and there's a vehicle in the buildings and grounds, a plow truck for those folks to take care of the parking lots and some other areas that they plow. We're going to renovate some bathrooms at Gavin Park to allow for changing rooms with the splash park there. Air conditioning in the Christopher Daly Gym. The one gym is air conditioned, but the Daly Gym is not. It creates problems in the summertime with safety issues with the floor and able to use that gym. So we're going to be able to, we're going to put air conditioning in that gym. And this is something new I'm proposing, and it's a bulk refuse day. We haven't never done it in the past, but we contract with like County Waste, and I think it takes over a couple of different weekends where you can put out sofas, appliances, and all that kind of stuff, and get rid of all your junk. So that's something I'm proposing in this budget. And on the downside, our health insurance is up 12%. So, but that's something we have no control over. So those are kind of the key points in the budget. But I think the most significant thing is, and I think most people care about, is, you know, they're not going to be paying any taxes.
Can I just ask a question? So I had mentioned to you a while back in terms of the bulk, sort of recycling, if we could also do hazardous waste material recycling?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what you can put out there. We've had waste, hazardous waste days, and I thought about doing that, but we've had those in the past, and this year, the funding that would come from the state to do that, they won't, most people deal with electronics, they want to get rid of electronics,
Yeah.
and they won't fund that anymore.
Yeah, what about things like paint and chemicals? I think Saratoga is having a bulk recycling, and it doesn't include any of that stuff. So I would imagine that hazardous materials, again, paints, solvents, poisons, chemicals, have to be handled separately. And, people don't have a way to deal with them. They're going to deal with them, down the drains or something. So I would like to ask and encourage that in connection with that, if we can piggyback onto that, some sort of hazardous waste disposal day as well.
Okay, we'll look into that and make that part of...
I actually made that comment before the meeting.
There is
I'm sorry, what, John?
I made that comment prior to the meeting.
Got a question?
Yeah, Tony Sturm. Is there any possibility of doing a medication disposal day, including controlled substances as well as regular medications?
Pharmacies will do that.
People from dumping them in the toilet, getting in the water supply, and stashes of controlled meds in homes, all prey to teenagers and even grade school kids experimenting.
Yeah, I think what we'll do is when we put this whole program together, we'll look at all those various aspects as hazardous waste and those types of things, and also the bulk pickup. So we're trying, maybe we can package the whole thing together.
You can take medications, I think, to your pharmacy.
Correct.
And even electronics you can take to like Best Buy. So I'm just saying there are alternatives there, even though it would be great for the town to do something. But the chemicals are one thing that there is no other place to deal with it.
Yeah. It's something that, I think we want to provide for the residents, and it'll be a service that we will be providing next year. So.
And we'll probably have to check with County Waste to see what they can and can't take, if they have a place to take it.
In terms of the medications, local EMS and maybe even state troopers might be willing to participate or even head that up in other communities. I've seen, local town police set up disposal days.
That's a good point. Thank you. Moving on to your, the next packet is just, again, dealing with the budget, but it just, again, it's a pie chart showing where our sources of revenue are, and you can see that sales tax is 73% of our revenue. It's a huge number. That between that and mortgage tax, because of our sales tax revenue and the other revenues, and that's why we can go on and not have town taxes, plus our conservative spending habits that we have. So Anyway, that's just a chart to show you where our revenue sources are. And then the next page just shows where our expenses are, and it's pretty much divided. Obviously, highways probably is our biggest expense, and then town operations and parks and recreation, they're divided amongst those three. So, and Jeff, these things are on the website, right?
Correct, they're all online. They're on the website.
Okay. So this is the introduction of the tentative budget. The town board will be going into more detail on the budget at our workshop on October 9th at 4 o'clock.
Jeff, did you want to update your phone number on this?
No.
Jeff is no longer available to take questions.
According to the paper, is it?
I thought you were coming back part-time.
That's up to you guys.
Yeah.
What was it, 13, 15 an hour?
I think we raised it to 14.
Oh, 14 an hour.
No, I think it's minimum wage.
Somebody snorted.
That was me, Eric. Okay, so anyway, that's the tentative budget. We got to set a public hearing, which will be at our November meeting, which is what date?
The 1st.
November 1st. We'll have a public hearing on the budget after we meet, and there may be certain amendments or adjustments to the budget, so.
Motion to set the public hearing. A motion to set the public hearing.
Yeah, so I need a motion to set the public hearing for
Make a
November
motion to
1st.
set the public hearing for November 1st.
I'll second it.
A motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, so moved. Okay, next, we have a resignation from Charles Frazier from the ZBA. He's unfortunately moving on, and he has to resign from that position, so accept his resignation with regrets.
Make a motion to accept Charles Frazier's resignation with deep regrets. Second it.
A motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed.
Are you filling that position? Do we have an alternate?
He is an alternate.
Oh, he's an alternate.
So if you have any recommendations, or anybody has recommendations to fill that position, contact Sue. This is this one is very a late starter for resignations. It's not on the agenda, but you did get a copy of a letter from Ron and Joan Stunzi, who have been our DCO, dog control officer, for a long time. They're sitting in the back, and they're going to be very hard to replace. They are going to be here through the end of the year, but they wanted to officially give us our notice today that they will be retiring, and it's certainly a well-deserved retirement to Ron and Joan. So we'll be looking for replacements for that position as well.
Thank you for your service all those years.
Thank you.
I know as a
Thank
fire
you.
chief, I've called on your services a couple of times to remove rather angry dogs out of houses.
Everybody has.
Yeah, and I know you're a great benefit for the community, EMS and fire programs.
So we should have a motion to accept, first of all, Charles, we did that one, okay, and then Ron and Jones, effective 12/31. Maybe you'll reconsider.
After 34 years, I don't. Make sure you get a plaque.
Art, can I say something on his behalf?
Sure, you can.
There you go.
Been the PCO officer since the 80s. He happened to have been one of my lead people in the highway department for almost 30 years. You will never find the individual more dedicated than Ron Stunzi and Joan, taking part with him as a deputy. We are going to be having a problem to replace these two individuals dedicated 1,000% to this town.
Couldn't agree with you more, Kirk.
Thank you.
Jeff's retired.
I couldn't remove a bunny rabbit from a road the other day.
We asked him if it works.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept again, with regret, the resignations of Ron and John.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, so moved.
Have you got any names who would take your jobs?
Yeah, I've talked to them. I have some proposed names from them, so. Next is the committee reports. Any? Just, I guess if they don't have any, just a couple announcements. First, we talked about hazardous waste and some of these other things, but there is a tire recycling program that the county is putting on. And it is on Tuesday, October 23rd. You do have to register, and where's the location? Is that
It's at the Soil and Water Conservation.
Soil and Water Conservation first area on West High Street. So, but there is a charge, $2 for tires without rims, $3 with rims, and you do have to pre-register. So, this information is on the bulletin board, if anybody's interested.
Pay that now.
And the other thing is Sustainable Saratoga, which Joanne is involved with. The 20th is having a recycling day at the SPAC parking lot, where they're taking all types of junk and anything. But I think it's a $5 charge, and Joanne, you can jump in if I'm wrong, but I think it's a $5 charge for a carload. And then for TVs, there's a $20 charge for TVs. There's no registration required, and I believe it's from 10 till 2 at the SPAC parking lot.
What day was that?
The 20th.
They don't take anything?
Well, I don't know about anything.
Take a lot of stuff.
Can you get that on our website?
Yeah.
If they give me the information, I'll get it up.
Yeah, I'll get you the.
Okay, get on our website.
I got it from Joanne, and I printed it out, and
With the Hiram Hollow being down, it's tough to get rid of stuff. I've got a trailer that's been full now for like a month and a half, so.
Yeah, so this may be an opportunity to do that. So, Jeff, I'll get it to you, and you can put it up on our website.
Sure.
But it is the 20th.
Well, that's if you approve me to come back to work, we'll see.
Minimum.
We're not there yet.
Okay, nothing else on the committee reports?
Can we do plaques for, we lost a couple highway guys this year. Are we doing any plaques for Mr. Levine and Mr. Stryker, I believe it was?
I know, let me know.
Something to recognize the families, and
We can do that.
yeah, sure, it's important.
Maybe the December meeting.
Next is the final controller report by Jeff.
Yes, it is.
Let's not pass any of it.
The first item are the budget transfers. We'll cover them first before we get to amendments. Are there any questions on the budget transfers? Mark Marino would like to crack seal the parking lot over there, and we're just taking money from one park account, moving it over to the other one to help pay for that. And also, he's looking to purchase a field line painter, which I think he talked to the Councilman Stryker about. The one he has over there is getting old, and so it gets a lot of use with all the soccer fields.
Yeah, we use it every day. Every day, just about every day.
Yeah, it doesn't affect the budget, it's just moving items in the current
I only
budget.
had to work on it once, so.
So those are the transfers.
Yeah,
Motion
and
to
I'll cover the
approve.
budget amendments this way, if you're gonna approve them all, you just do it all at once.
Let's, I think the amendments are gonna have to have a little discussion.
Okay, so you
I'll put a motion to approve the budget transfers.
I'll second it.
Give a motion in a second. Any questions or discussion on the transfers? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
Okay, next one are the budget amendments. This is where we have to use some of the town surplus to help fund these projects. The first one is our buildings and grounds guys are going to, or would like to redo the front entranceway. That's taking up all the concrete that's out there. It's cracked. They try to repair it. It just doesn't look right. And they're going to put some pavers in as a border, and then they're going to concrete the middle of it. And they believe they can do that for under $10,000, and that's doing that in-house.
When are we doing something with the expansion over here still, or is that?
Where?
Oh,
Here? No.
that's out.
Not now.
Not later in the near future either?
Expansion of this building?
No, that was the whole, when we sat on the court thing, we were talking about expanding this and...
Yeah, I'm just kind of like on...
I just hate to put $10,000 into a project that would...
Yeah, no,
expand
it would
on
be
this.
some time that we're going to need an expansion here, I think. This is just kind of
Right, but I thought the expansion was going that direction. It's not...
Yeah, but that's something that's happening soon.
Jeff, and at $50,000, is $50,000 to move that pavilion?
Okay, well, that's the second one.
That's what, yeah, I mean, need some discussion on.
You want to move on to the second one, or you want to approve?
Well,
I think John's right on the first one, too.
well, we've got this building, and, you know, it just doesn't look very, the entrance does not look, we tried to replace it,
Yeah.
repair it, it doesn't look very good.
They patched it this year, and it looks terrible. To walk up that main entrance, you got a nice town hall, and you have concrete that doesn't match. It's just aesthetically, it's, you know, it doesn't look right. And you can't do sand concrete because it'd be too slippery. And you can't do full pavers because the rock salt in the wintertime will eat it all up. So the best solution that Scott Harrington and Art and Ryan and I came up with was to do a border on the ends and not put the rock salt on the ends, and just put the concrete up the middle. And they're willing to do this in-house. I mean, if you were to contract this out, you're probably looking at about $25,000. But our guys are willing to do it, you know, in-house.
Yeah, I think any expansion here is going to be sometime down the road. Right now, we're looking at, you know, renovating the court building, and you guys have seen that design, and we'll be talking about that soon.
I think with all the money that we're saving on renovating the court building, we could expand this building, and to me, it seems like we're gonna put $10,000 into a project that's gonna get...
Oh, I didn't realize we were going to expand this bill. I mean, I know we talked about it, but I didn't know if we really need to do that still.
Well, that was kind of like a big vision
Yes,
plan. And
that's why we were on that committee, and now apparently that must be... I'm not on the committee anymore, so that must have been...
Yeah, well, back then we were talking about building a new court building, taking that down, expanding this building, but those all the costs were so high that we kind of...
Now the costs are so low, according to what we were told, went from like 6 million down to we can do it for $1 million. And well, are we losing the expansion of town hall now during that loss?
It was 800,000.
Starting to make sense.
800.
I know we talked about that, this being expanded, but that...
I mean, it's $10,000. Don't get me wrong.
No, I understand what you're saying. I wouldn't want to throw money into this if we were going to be tearing it down. But I thought we talked about...
Well, the expansion
over there only was going to be like $3 or $4 million, not even including this area.
Yeah, the planned expansion off the town hall would be from Sue's office to the corner towards the woods,
so
and out towards the park.
That's not counting this front entrance.
So it wouldn't likely
then I'm all right
impact
with
it. And this $10,000 number is probably high. They're probably going to be in more $5,000-$6,000.
Seems like a lot of money.
If it's not going to affect it, then I'm fine with it. But
I'm not a mason, but
to tear up something that we just, I mean, that's where we're at with Gavin Park with the pavilion. You put $5,000 and they want to tear it down. To me, that's a waste of money. So I don't want to do it twice.
Right. We don't have any layouts or any footprint of what we...
I thought the expansion was going to go that direction, not towards the parking lot.
No, it would go towards the parking lot.
The expansion would be, you're talking about what they're going to repair?
No, the expansion would be off of Sue's office in that area, towards the parking lot.
Not where
It wouldn't be where the front entrance is.
No, not near the front.
So you wouldn't be tearing it up if we did it right.
All right, so why don't we take these one at a time, which is a little unusual, but I think the next one needs some discussion. So is a motion to approve the $10,000 to make improvements to the front entrance?
I'll make that motion to approve the front entrance.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Okay, the next one, this has to do with moving the, we plan on building the new pavilion down at Gavin Park, which has already been ordered and delivered, and the plan is to put that in the same location as where the current pavilion is. So before we can do that, we've got to do something with the old pavilion. So there was a couple of options. One, which this takes care of, is to actually hire a company to come in with a crane and move it and put it to the location where, by the playground that everybody wanted to put it. So Mark has got a price of $50,000 to do that.
Does that include the site work for the pavilion, or just the cost of moving from one location to?
I think it's just the moving. I don't think it includes the foundation or...
Did we get more than one price?
Scott is waiting for, there's another company that...
We make a motion to move this money.
We're just talking, it's more discussion too, I think.
No, it's on them.
I know, but I'm saying we need to discuss what.
So there's another company that can do it that they're waiting for a price on. But the other option is for our own staff to dismantle, take it down, and re-erect it at the same location.
Scott said he can take it apart, put it in the other location, make a couple little repairs to it. He says it'll look just the same as it is now. It looks really nice. So and he thinks it can cost probably less than $25,000 to do all that. That includes putting in the cement flooring and everything. So he said between $20,000 and $25,000.
Scott can do this?
Scott and his guys.
His crew.
Yeah.
So what are we looking to do? Approve up to $50,000?
Well, either that or wait till another bid. I mean, table it.
I don't want to pay $50,000 for somebody to just go.
Yeah, I don't want to either, personally.
I don't think, it seems like too much money to do that, but we want to salvage, as you say, we want to salvage that pavilion.
It's a gorgeous pavilion. If Scott feels that he can do it, I mean, that's... But is this the same Scott that's going to do the front end too?
No,
is there another Scott that works for us?
Well, he's got a lot, he'll have more on his plate. I mean, he's waiting to do stuff, so.
Well, the thing is, the Gavin Park, I mean, we've got this giant pavilion that's sitting in a cardboard box that's going to get snowed on this year, so, I mean, to me...
It isn't going to be built this year no matter what.
We never plan on getting it up. We hope to get the site work done, but we can't do anything until we get the existing pavilion out of there. Then the site work can be done and possibly pour the foundation. But the first decision is what are we going to do with the existing? So we either move it.
I absolutely want to move it.
Well, I thought a few of us went over there where they built a new parking lot. It was going to go on the right of that, and we all agreed on it. That's what I thought.
Yeah,
That's where it is going.
That's where it is going. But we got to move it from where it is in order to start the...
Well, no, Mr. Lance talking about the new pavilion.
The new pavilion.
Oh.
The problem is the new pavilion came in.
I know I was with a group of people, and we all agreed on it. That's where it should go.
No, we all
But the
agreed
problem
on
is,
it's
bigger than
The field?
anticipated. It's bigger than the section that we want to put it
We'll
on.
have to buy some woods then.
We'd have to buy some from Saratoga.
Yeah. No, well, we all...
The compromise that I believe we made was to move the wooden one to there.
Over there, and
fit.
because the other new one wouldn't fit over there, and it's probably a better location.
The new one is a lot bigger than the one we approved.
All right, I think what we need to do is we need to make a decision and go forward. If we're going to move this pavilion, let's not procrastinate. Let's approve up to $50,000, ideally way under the $50,000. Let's get this moved so we can get it done, so we can get the new one started. And, I mean, because we're sitting here arguing where it's going to go and stuff. let's just get this one moved so we can get the new one in place, and let's just get it done.
But I think the locations had been agreed upon.
I thought the new one was gonna go where the old one was
Right,
because of the
that's
land.
why we gotta move it.
Right. So I would like to make a motion that we spend up to 50,000, ideally below the 50,000, and have Scott head the project to get this old pavilion moved at obviously the cheapest price as possible. And let's get this project moving forward so we can finish the new pavilion.
Yeah, and in the meantime, the second proposal may come in.
Right. Which we can agree on, because we're
If
agreeing to
Scott
do up
can
to
do it
50.
for
We're up to
25,000 with site work, to me, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Right.
But to just pay $50,000 to pick something up and move it 30 feet and then drop it down,
No, I agree. I think we're all in agreement with that, but I think Dwayne's motion is good, is up to, and we'll
Just get it
select
done.
the, when we get the options, it's not, I think that the motion is not to spend this to move it, but just
Up to, and let's,
a cost up to 50,000
Right.
to move the existing pavilion to the location.
Or to take it apart and rebuild
right,
it.
whatever we see, but let's get the $50,000 approved so we can get the pavilion to go from
where
here
did
to here.
the $50,000 number is a company that we're not going with, so why do we need a $50,000 number?
Well, it's just a number.
It's a budget. It's a budget to work within.
Right, right.
So
I don't think any of us anticipate or would ever authorize up to that point, but at least to get them moving.
Need
Because if
some
we come back next
volunteers?
month, we're another month
Why don't we
wasted.
make it a community work
Do
day?
you need some volunteers, Scott?
Bring in 20 pizzas and have the residents move it.
You got a handsaw there?
I've got screwdrivers and hammers and wrenches.
So, all right. There's a motion on the floor. Anybody want to second Dwayne's?
I'll second it.
Okay, any other further questions, discussion? Okay, one thing, we're all set on the locations, right? We're gonna, that old pavilion is going over by the playground where we all thought we wanted it, and the new one is
Well, it
going...
seems so if that's too big to where we originally wanted it, it's gonna take a lot of that park if it's that big.
It's huge.
But we decided it was gonna go, the best place would be,
The only place it'll fit, let's just put it that way,
Well,
is where the old one is.
and the best, really, the best use location.
The one good thing about this pavilion, is, I think it is a little large, but we can use it for community events. You can have plays there, community theater almost, you could have in something like this. I mean, you can build it up. You could build on one end, hook it up and have an area where people could have serve food, like the concession stand, if you really wanted to. You can make a lot of things out of this area that's of this.
There's a lot of good uses, we talked about the theater.
Well, I'd like to put into that same motion to have that barn removed as well, because I think that is gonna be with that other stall that's on there, you're talking about the pavilion going where it's gonna be aesthetically pleasing, and it's sitting next to a barn that's fallen down.
Which barn you talking about?
There's a
God,
wooden...
that barn's in pretty good shape.
Yeah, they wanna move it
I mean, that's a steel, like a steel.
They wanna move it to the other side.
to where the...
Right.
To where the new building is, behind it.
Oh, you're talking about the one that they have now, that last one.
Yeah.
I thought you wanted to put it back in the garage in that area.
I just want to make sure we're clear on these locations of these two pavilions. The new one's going to go where the old one, the current one is.
I don't know.
That's what we all decided, and then the other one's going to go over by the
The
playground.
other one's gonna go over by the playground, kind of where the horseshoe pit is.
Yeah.
Kind of to the.
I don't want to approve these funds if we're not on the same page of where they're going to go.
Well, when they were drilling the test holes, they kind of made it like, if you were driving through Gavin Park down the light poles, you wouldn't see this pavilion, you'd be seeing through it. Where right now, it's at an angle, so you kind of see the side of it. Where they're putting the new one, you're kind of gonna look straight through it, so you're not even gonna know it's there, other than the fact that...
Right, it's going to be open, and the other thing,
So
like...
it will look the best where they're proposing to put it, but my thing is, I don't want to destroy that old one that...
Oh, no, this was just a matter of how we get it to the location, and the other location over by the playground, that which you also agreed would be the place to put it, so. We're back, I think we have a motion in a second.
Yeah, and-
Okay.
And just, Steve Portal's original idea for this was for summer camp. We have limited space. So during the summer, there's a lot of times where we have to rent tents for the kids. We have to rent all these things. So we have this pavilion. It'll be a shared area where a lot of kids and groups can be. And the other thing is they're looking to maybe put like an ice skating rink in the wintertime underneath it.
Yeah, that was the other thought that Steve Port, because this idea originated on the Portal. And so currently the ice rink, which is very popular, but it takes a lot of maintenance and weather-related things. Put it under this roof of this thing, it'll take a lot of that stuff away, and our maintenance staff won't have to deal with snow blowing it and all that kind of stuff, and it'll be a lot easier to maintain and use. And the other thing is the stage. There is portable stage that Steve had thought about putting in there for plays and stuff in the summertime. And then also, like on Park Fest, if we have a rainy day, we had no alternative site for music and entertainment. This place would be able to facilitate that as well. So I think it's a good thing, it's a good plan, but we should still utilize the other one that we have over by the playground, so. Okay, is there any other discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, so moved.
Okay, next item are the personnel items. First one, Kirk Woodcock is requesting approval to hire David Locke to fill the vacant full-time MEO position effective October 9th, starting at step 1, which is $18.55 an hour.
Is he a new hire or a promote? A promote with
New hire.
New hire.
Wilton resident?
That I don't know.
Wilton resident?
Pardon me?
The Wilton resident?
Yes.
Okay.
To make a motion, we approve Kurt's new hire, David Locke.
Second it.
I'd like to amend that with a positive physical and drug screens and everything as well for our requirements. Driver license.
That's all part of the process, I believe. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved.
Okay, the next one.
Let's go to 3.
Okay.
Well, B could be also 3.
The town board needs to decide if they want to bring me back to fill the void and train the new town controller. I expect the hours to be full-time from October 9th to the 30th. The new controller is coming in October 22nd. And after the 30th, I really don't expect to be coming in after that, unless the town board, wants me to come in. And this would be at my current rate of pay, not $14 an hour.
$14.
Maria, do you think it's important to have Mr. Reel come back?
I think we'll see.
I'd like to make a motion, we keep Jeff on to the 30th, and if we have to hire him afterwards at 14 an hour, wherever it takes it, if we need him.
I'll second it with whatever it takes if we need him.
Okay. Any further questions or discussion? I don't think Maria's gonna need him that long, but.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
If he comes back full-time for another month, do we have to take the plaque back?
Reissue it.
Change the date on it.
Okay, so a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? So moved.
Okay, next one, Mark Marino is requesting permission to dispose and sell of a 1997 Yamaha golf cart. And I do this on Auctions International. Town board needs to approve that.
Make a motion to approve it.
Second it.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll be bidding on it.
So moved.
I gotta make another
Make it for
ambulance.
Florida.
For Florida, that's right.
The next one, my last item, I'll just give you a little background. The town has a Section 8 grant program, and it's been run by Saratoga County Rural Preservation Corporation for years. But over the last 6 months, they've been running some difficulties trying to administer our program. I I've talked to the president, she's willing to give up the program. I sent her a letter that's within the contract to give her 90 days to terminate the contract, and she was willing to turn it over as soon as possible. It would help them out a lot. So there's this other group, Joseph Mastriani, that does a lot of these Section 8 programs. They get paid directly through HUD to run our program. It doesn't cost the town anything. So they run a number of town Section 8 programs in Saratoga County as well in other counties, and they come highly recommended by our town auditor. So I've been working with them and also with the Rural Preservation Corporation to try and get this thing moved over as smooth as possible. He sent me a contract. It's with the supervisor right now, so I'm asking the town board to approve and authorize the supervisor to enter into the contract with Joseph Mastriani to administer the town Section 8 housing program, which is effective December 1st, 2018.
Questions for Jeff on that?
No.
Yeah, we had rural preservation for some time, but they changed staff and it's not something they did. I think we were the only town that
That's correct.
they administered, and they just, nothing against them, but they just didn't have the expertise to do it. So this company is with a lot of other towns, and it's the right move. And rural preservation is not really, they don't care, they don't want to do it
No,
anyway.
the president was very willing to turn this over, and she's willing to help, work with Joseph Mastriani Incorporated to move this thing along.
So she's going to help transition the program from us to them?
Yes, they gotta work together, they gotta get all the files and do all the intake files, and everything is in the HUD system, so they just need to get it transferred over and have access to it. And
I'll make a motion to approve and authorize the supervisor to enter an agreement with Joseph Maserani, Inc. to administer the town Section 8 housing program effective December 1st, 2018.
I'll second it.
Motion, second. Any further questions, discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Just for informational purposes, the budgets for the Greenfield Fire District and the Wilton Fire District are on file in Sue's office. Anybody wants to review them, the town board does not oversee their budgets, they're independent.
Good thing.
So, but they are available in Sue's office if anybody wants to see what the budgets, what their budgets are. So, is there any other business? Okay, motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.